Today, I want to talk about the caste system, which is something that a lot of non-Hindus seem to talk about and try to put Hinduism down. So the caste system is more of a social problem than a Hindu problem. And in India, there are people who practice it, but according to the scriptures, this can't be justified as something that is promoted through Hinduism or something that's part of Hinduism. Hinduism has something called a Varna system, and the Varna system does have the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. Now, it is said that the Brahmins came from the top, the head of God, and then the Kshatriyas came from the shoulders, and the Vaishyas came from the hip, and the Shudras came from the legs. Now, the meaning behind this is that the entire body, in order for it to function, this is just a symbolic meaning, which means that the four different varnas has to work together in order for the entire body to work. So all the varnas, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, they have to work together in order for the entire system, so the entire world, for the entire world to work, just like the entire body has to work. So if you don't have the legs, then you are left without legs, barely able to move. So the legs are very important. And you'll notice that no matter who it is, Brahmin, Kshatriya, or Vaishyas, any one of those, when they go to the temple, they have to bend down and take the blessings of the Lord by touching the feet. Touching the feet, that's the first thing that anybody who wants a blessing, that's what they always do. They put their head down, or they actually touch the feet of the Lord, and then they do their prayer. So people seem to twist these things around to defame Hinduism, but I want to clarify, the Varna system is quite different. Now, I'm not saying that there's no discrimination. I think there is definitely discrimination, and then there are people that are out there that lack knowledge, and they put down Hinduism and make Hinduism look bad. But this is not the majority of the case. Nobody's sitting at a temple checking who's coming in and asking the person, hey buddy, what caste are you from? And you can't tell me, by looking at me, you can tell me what caste I'm from. So how can I discriminate against anybody if you can't look at me and tell me what caste I'm from? So it's not like racism. Racism seems to be very clear that when a person looks at another that is either a different skin color or a different race of some sort, they get discriminated against because they can identify that other person being different. But at a Hindu temple, when a person that's coming in, it could be somebody who's got dark skin, it could be somebody who's got light skin, it could be somebody who's got fair skin, or somebody who's anything. Nobody can look at the person and say, oh, this guy is a Shudra, or this guy is whatever caste, and start discriminating against them. So it's not that simple. So, and also the idea that there's a very important concept of Hinduism, which is called the Atman and the Brahman. So Brahman and Atman, eventually, the ultimate goal in Hinduism is for one to become enlightened. Enlightenment can only happen when one becomes self-realized. When self-realization happens, that's when one realizes that the true identity is Brahman. Once a person understands the concept of Atman and Brahman as being the same, then one knows that Atman resides everywhere. It resides in the mountains, it resides in the trees, it resides in the rivers, it resides in animals, it resides in the insects, the bugs, everything. And that's our true nature, is Atman. And then the Atman and Brahman are the same. So Brahman is the supreme being, the ultimate reality. That's the state that we want to ultimately go back to. So we want to go back to our true nature, which is Brahman. So as as any, so if Brahman resides in every living thing, then we, when we discriminate against somebody, we're discriminating against ourselves, because that same Brahman that resides in me, that Atman, also resides in them. So anybody who's saying or practicing the discrimination through caste or racism or whatever, then the true identity of a person, that is the Atman, the Brahman himself, resides in not just the humans, but it also resides in nature. It resides in animals and trees and plants and so on. So we have to respect everything. So Hinduism is very, very complex in some ways to understand. But once a person realizes what the meaning of Atman and Brahman is, then they know that there is no such thing as caste. There is zero. Like, it makes no sense. It shouldn't even be it shouldn't even be considered part of Hinduism. So it is one of the worst things that the West, I hate labeling things, but the way let's just say non-Hindus try to portray Hinduism is totally wrong. That is by far not what Hinduism teaches. And the ultimate goal is that for everybody to become self-realized. And when you become self-realized, the goal is that you realize the relationship between yourself and God is the same, that you are that. You are the Brahman. And then that Brahman resides everywhere. So this is why in Hinduism, we're supposed to respect nature. We're supposed to not kill animals. We're not supposed to exploit the world. We're not supposed to burn and pollute the world. We're supposed to respect it. We're supposed to live with nature and in harmony. And these are all important things in Hinduism. And it's important that in today's world, we learn about each other, different religions, and we talk and understand each other much better. If you found this information helpful, please like, share, and subscribe.